South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Headliners. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. A phone app previously used for people seeking asylum in the U.S. has now been revived by the Trump administration to promote self-deportation. It's the latest tool in a campaign by Homeland Security to get undocumented immigrants to leave their country on their own. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor is in Northwest Miami-Dade with reaction.
It is important to note that the phone app was shut down by Donald Trump just hours after he got into office. They now renamed it with a very specific intention. The CBP-1 phone app, downloaded by thousands of migrants, became now CBP Home app.
CBP Home is now a tool that the Trump administration wants migrants to use to self-deport.
South Florida immigration attorney Juan Carlos Rivera does not think the app will be an effective tool for what the Trump administration is seeking to obtain.
So it went from allowing immigrants to come in to having immigrants go out.
With the new app, immigrants should state their intent to leave the U.S. by uploading their photo and the country of destiny.
Follow the law and you'll find opportunity.
The app is now part of a 200 million domestic and international app campaign for people without legal status in the U.S., urging them to leave on their own instead of staying.
Well, CBP-1 helped almost 1 million people.
Rivera told me many of his clients benefited from the previous app. It was created by the Biden administration in May of 2023 to solve the crisis at the southern border. Maria, who asked us not to reveal her face, used it.
Yo entré por Laredo, Texas.
I entered through Texas. The officer interviewed me and granted us entry into the U.S. She is now awaiting for a day in court for her asylum request. Whoever provided his or her information via CBP-1 to the federal government, can they now find them?
The government does have access to that data, and that's something that we don't know as of right now if they're going to use it against immigrants to find them and deport them.
How does that make you feel?
Si siento temor, yo creo.
I am scared, and I think every immigrant feels like that, but that does not mean my family and I will self-deport. That's not the case. Is anybody doing self-deportation?
So they have a court hearing, and something happens in their home country, whether it's their spouse getting sick, their mother getting sick, and they just leave the country.
And how about the current climate?
I haven't heard of any client self-deporting.
So this new app comes with a specific question for the applicant, if he or she has the means for self-deportation, but it is not clear if the federal government will provide the funds to make it happen. We are in Northwest Miami-Dade. Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.
Canadian snowbirds here in South Florida say they are feeling the pressure of the ongoing trade war. They say tariffs hurt exchange rates, and now a new rule could force Canadians to change the way they travel to the U.S. CBS News Miami's Larry Seward talked to some Canadians earlier this week.
Some of those snowbirds tell me that they're planning to move their winter homes farther south or perhaps stay in Canada's cold if the president does not change course. No pile of Canadian Putin could help Annie DuPont stomach new travel rules proposed by U.S. President Donald Trump's administration.
We got a problem with him, personally, not with the America.
DuPont is from Montreal. She owns a condo in Hollywood, a beachfront dream home where she and her husband planned to retire.
It was a home.
Why do you say was?
Because of Mr. Trump.
What do you mean?
We're very, how can we say, disappointed.
The president's team drafted a rule set to take effect April 11th. It requires foreign nationals crossing the U.S.-Canada border to register and submit to fingerprinting if they plan to stay more than a month.
It's a lot of boop, 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 like he's thinking that he's in a reality show.
DuPont says she already fills out I-94 travel documents, and new registration only brings hassle, complicates business trips, and feels like a personal attack on her countrymen.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
I can't afford to be here longer than 30 days. So.
Christina and Aaron Consoli are in South Florida with family on vacation from Toronto. Tariff-driven exchange rate changes leave this family holding Canadian dollars, losing value in the U.S.
I just wish this would all just go away because it's affecting everybody, both sides of the border.
Something like this was paid for a while ago, but going forward, we'd be more likely to just vacation in Canada somewhere.
DuPont feels it too. It's another reason why new travel rules could force these snowbirds to winter farther south. DuPont says she and her husband could move to the Caribbean, choose a country. She is hoping those travel rules don't change. On the Hollywood Broadwalk, Larry C. with CBS News, Miami.
A new government report shows inflation is easing more than expected, but there are concerns prices on several items could start increasing because of the latest tariffs implemented by the Trump administration. CBS News Miami's Nikai Carrero shows us how some are shopping around to save.
Whether it's here at the grocery store or at the pump, people are worried about the impact of prices. But with the new inflation rate coming out, an economist tells me it's a sigh of relief for now.
I used to not pay attention to the prices in the grocery store.
Sylvia Rojas is one of many people who say they have noticed an uptick in their grocery bill, leading her to look for alternatives to save a few bucks.
You know, there's certain things that I can get from each of those stores that give me like the basic. And it's the least expensive.
She says shopping around makes a difference.
It's really a concern, especially if you're retired on, you know, fixed income and so on. I think for everybody, it's a concern. And
the Consumer Price Index initially forecasted an inflation rate of 2.9%, but it hit at 2.8%. What does that exactly mean?
This report card simply says that inflation is not very high, it's not low.
Finance and economics professor Dr. Albert Williams says the comfortable rate is 2%. He says while groceries have risen over the last year, things like gas have dropped. But the threat of tariffs is causing uncertainty in the future.
We are thinking that possibly if we don't have the tariff situation where prices can increase, that might cause some inflation down the road, but let's not worry about that yet. We hope to deal with that at a different setting.
I also asked Williams about the stock market dropping earlier this week. He tells me it's another indication of the uncertainty in the country's economic status. In Doral, Nikai Carrero, CBS News, Miami.
Okay, when we come back, spring break is upon us. The city of Miami Beach has enlisted the help of some high-tech help to get residents and visitors safe during this busy season. Stay with us.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News, Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. Spring break season is upon us, and the city of Miami Beach says it is ramping up enforcement with a little help from technology. Safety measures won't just be on the ground, they'll also be up in the sky. CBS News Miami's Steve Majiri spoke to tourists and locals alike about what they think about this high-tech security.
Mark Trusiak and his Arizona State friends are spring breaking in South Beach for the week.
I've always heard Miami is like the fun place to be.
But Miami Beach is continuing what it calls a breakup with spring break, cracking down on rowdy behavior and lawlessness. Trusiak and his friends know about this, and they'll get reminders of these restrictions every time they walk on the beach. Despite that, you guys still wanted to come down?
Yeah. There's not like a huge crowd of spring breakers like today.
Honestly, I thought it was going to be cheaper than going to Cabo.
And still, Miami Beach is taking it a step further. It launched its new real-time intelligence center, which centralizes the city's 850 cameras, providing about 1,600 different views of the city. It also has license plate readers and social media monitoring to try and find threats.
Proud to say that we have the largest number of cameras of any municipalities here in the state of Florida.
Eagles going up. The center can remotely launch this state-of-the-art drone, which is housed on the police station's roof. It can cover a lot of ground and track officers' movements. Mayor Stephen Miner says this can be used year-round, but spring break is a great time to launch it.
That blue cone is our officer.
Certainly during the peak hours where we show that we have the most crime, most arrests, so certainly that's the time we'll use it, although our arrests have been down during spring break.
I'm sure it convinces like people not to come here and like go somewhere else, but still like it's Miami.
Darren Fords has lived in Miami Beach for 18 years. He's glad spring break has slowed down, and he says the center and the cameras are another deterrent to keep bad behavior out of here.
With all these cameras, it's going to make it hard for somebody to do something and not be seen.
For spring break, on top of the intelligence center, you could see curfews, $100 parking charges, DUI and security checkpoints, and state troopers will be out on patrol assisting Miami Beach police. In Miami Beach, Steve Majiri, CBS News, Miami.
For the first time ever, Southwest Airlines is getting rid of its free checked bag policy, a practice the airline's executives previously described as something that set them apart from competitors. CBS News Miami's Anna McAllister joins us from Miami International Airport, where she spoke to loyal customers. And as you can imagine, they're not too very happy about this.
Pack all the things.
Not so fast. The days of 2 free checked bags for Southwest Airlines customers is about to be a thing of the past. After decades of having free check-in bags just like this one, if you're going to travel, well, guess what? Southwest is changing that, so you're going to have to cough up some cash if you want an extra check-in bag. According to Southwest Airlines, only its most elite A-list preferred flyers and those booking its expensive business select fares will get 2 free checked bags. A-list members, Southwest credit card holders, and select customers will get 1 free checked bag, and everyone else has to pay.
I'm sad because that's one of the reasons we fly Southwest.
All my friends and family use Southwest because you fly bags free, and it's convenient, and now they're in competition with everybody else. You might as well choose the other airlines.
Unfortunately, airlines are moving into a direction of just nickel and diming us for everything. They're becoming less comfortable, less affordable.
This change comes less than a year after the airline announced it would do away with its open boarding policy. Southwest Airlines says travelers will fly in assigned seating starting next year.
Well, why fly Southwest? That was the purpose of doing it. It was awesome.
We asked passengers if these changes will make them reconsider booking their flights with Southwest Airlines.
If I find something that's more reasonable, I'm sorry, I might have to look into that.
My curiosity is, who are you trying to be? And then it changes who's going to fly with you.
Southwest Airlines provided us with this statement, saying in part, "We recognize these changes may be a disappointment to some, but know we're committed to building a Southwest that will continue to offer you low fares, convenient flights to destinations you want, and a travel experience that's rewarding." And Southwest Airlines says its new bag policy will take effect on May 28th. But for now, reporting from the Miami International Airport, Anna McAllister, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, see a South Florida woman's journey of passion, purpose, and drive. You won't want to miss it.
From South Florida, this is Headliners, only on CBS News Miami.
Welcome back. I'm Elliot Rodriguez. This week's edition of Miami Proud commemorates Women's History Month with a story of passion, purpose, and unwavering dedication. Born in Jamaica and raised in Broward County, one woman is on a mission to heal and uplift an entire community. CBS News Miami's Chelsea Jones shares how she's doing it.
Hey, Jane. For Dr. Terry Ann Bennett, the path to becoming a doctor was set long before she ever stepped foot into a medical school.
My father died actually here from a stroke because of high blood pressure and lack of access to excellent medical care. So it's always been a passion of mine to really come back to my community.
A proud graduate of Blanche Ely High School, her vision turned into action while a student enrolled in the medical magnet program. That's where she says she witnessed firsthand the healthcare disparities that plague several communities.
I learned how where you come from and how much money you have can impact your health. And to this day, that remains true.
Instead of feeling helpless, she was inspired to change the narrative.
I became a maternal fetal medicine specialist because pregnant people are getting sicker and sicker, and the disparities are alarming.
She spent 8 years at the University of Miami before attending New York University, ultimately coming home to South Florida.
I'm extremely passionate about preventative care because we know that many of the complications of pregnancy can actually be prevented by making sure that we give patients access to maternal fetal medicine specialists like myself who partner with their obstetrician, their OB doctors, and to identify patients who are at risk for certain complications.
Here at Memorial Healthcare System is where that passion has materialized with the redesigned expansion of what they call Family Birthplace, a $68 million commitment to maternity care for all moms.
I'm just a regular girl from Lauderhill who's just trying to make sure that people that look like me and have a similar background as me and maybe be marginalized or impoverished or not have access to all of the best can get the best because that's what we deserve.
In Hollywood, Chelsea Jones, CBS News, Miami.
The girls' lacrosse team at Taravella High School was cut this year when they couldn't find a coach. So many of the girls went to play for different schools. But Amber Beck had different plans. She decided she was going to join the boys' team instead. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis picks up the story.
I've never been teammates with a girl before, especially in a
boys' sport.
Playing with the boys always made sense to Amber Beck.
With girls, I was way too aggressive. Penalty box every game. Like, I never win a game without the penalty box.
Her coach wasn't surprised when she came to their first practice.
She came out and absolutely dominated my boys. It almost embarrassed them with guys twice her size.
And while at first there was some hesitation,
like, my first instinct was to go easy, you know.
It didn't take long for the guys to get on board.
But then I found out the hard way that she really a dog. So it's like, you can't underestimate her.
She switched positions since leaving the girls' team, so not only is she playing with the boys, but she's learning a whole new role.
They have a high level of respect for me, as well as my opponents. They always, like, at the end of games, they're not like, oh, like, bringing me down or anything like that. They're always like, wow, like, good stuff. Like, I'm proud of you for, like, even stepping out here.
She's setting a path for girls playing in boys' sports here. Coach Christian Young said when he approached the county, they were fully on board.
She's the only girl right now in spring sports that is in Broward County, well, in the Tri-County area, that's playing a boys' sport.
And while she's creating a name for herself, she's also inspiring others.
Sometimes I do hear, like, little things here and there, like, oh, like, why is she on a boys' team? Why is she doing that? But I don't really let it get to me, because at the end of the day, I'm still on the team, and I'm a part of it, so.
And it's safe to say she's got a whole team of big brothers looking out for her if needed.
I really feel like a little sister, because it's like, if somebody tried to do something to her in a game, I'd definitely, like, step up, because, you know, we just got that connection now.
In Coral Springs, Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
Good for her. All right, thank you for joining us this half hour for Headliners, and as always, keep it right here to CBS News Miami for up-to-the-minute breaking news and weather 24 hours a day. Make it a great day.